Having gained superhuman abilities thanks to his regeneration powers, Deadpool continues his career as a ruthless mercenary, eliminating various criminals. Perched atop a towering building, he taunts his adversary before plunging through a window, only to be ambushed by a group of mobsters. Quickly recovering due to his powers, Deadpool dispatches them with his arsenal of guns and katanas. His mission doesn't end there, he travels worldwide, infiltrating unusual locations to eliminate criminals. After a showdown with the Yakuza, Deadpool eventually returns to the United States, ready for a new assignment. Upon arriving at the criminal hideout, Deadpool effortlessly takes down numerous henchmen, showcasing his combat prowess. The leader, Sergey, retreats into a bunker and watches as Deadpool eliminates his men on security cameras. As Deadpool approaches the bunker door, reinforcements arrive, forcing him to flee. Waiting outside is his friend Dopinder, who provides a getaway in his cab. Back at his apartment, Deadpool reunites with his girlfriend, Vanessa, celebrating their anniversary. For their anniversary, Deadpool gifts Vanessa an arcade token, a memento from their first date. In return, Vanessa gives him her birth control, a symbol of her readiness to start a family. However, their celebration is abruptly interrupted by an unknown threat. Deadpool instructs Vanessa to hide, saving her from a shotgun blast. Sergey's reinforcements storm their apartment, prompting Deadpool to engage in a brutal kitchen knife battle. After dispatching the criminals, Deadpool checks on Vanessa, relieved to find her safe. Suddenly, Sergey appears in the doorway, attempting to shoot Deadpool but accidentally hitting Vanessa instead. Deadpool leaps out of the window in pursuit of Sergey but gets struck by a car, allowing Sergey to escape. A few meters away, another vehicle collides with Sergey's, trapping him. Deadpool arrives and embraces Sergey in the middle of the street, but they both get run over by an ambulance. Sergey is killed, but Deadpool regenerates, grappling with the grief and depression stemming from Vanessa's death. Deadpool spirals into self-destructive behavior, resorting to excessive drinking and illegal substances. After 3 days at his favorite bar, Deadpool revisits his old house, encountering an elderly female friend who attempts to console him. Despite her efforts, Deadpool remains plagued by guilt and explores various extreme methods to end his existence. None of these attempts succeed, culminating in an apartment explosion that propels Deadpool into a peculiar purgatory, where he encounters Vanessa's soul. Desperate to connect with her, Deadpool tries to reach her but encounters an invisible barrier separating them. Vanessa informs Deadpool that his heart is not yet in the right place, and he is pulled back to the world of the living. Colossus arrives at the apartment, collecting Deadpool's dismembered body pieces and transporting him to the mansion inhabited by mutants like Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend, Yukio. Deadpool wallows in sorrow within the mansion, persistently haunted by thoughts of Vanessa. Colossus intervenes, emphasizing that the X-Men are now his family, an idea Deadpool accepts with a hug. Meanwhile, elsewhere in a demolished building, Cable discovers the lifeless bodies of his family and retrieves his daughter's teddy bear. Using his time-traveling device, Cable disappears and reappears in the countryside, incapacitating 2 men to hijack their truck. Meanwhile, a young boy named Russell arrives at an orphanage run by the Essex Corporation, a facility aimed at curing mutants. The headmaster, who believes mutants are diseased and must be eradicated, soon realizes Russell poses a threat. The headmaster subjects Russell to harsh punishment, including electrocution, as the other children watch. After enduring days of torment, Russell unleashes his fire-based powers on the Institute's staff, inciting chaos and panic. Russell's rampage overwhelms the police, prompting a call to the X-Men for assistance. Colossus persuades Deadpool to join them, and upon arrival, Deadpool senses something amiss. He cautiously approaches Russell, who remains fearful and inadvertently strikes Negasonic with a fireball. Deadpool attempts to calm Russell, but the boy targets him next. Deadpool refrains from violence, but reinforcements arrive at the orphanage, escalating the confrontation. Outside, Cable's friend, Dopinder, awaits with his cab, ready to transport Deadpool. While Deadpool and the team attempt to contain the situation, Cable recognizes the looming danger of Russell's potential transformation into a supervillain. Frustrated, Deadpool decides to draw his weapons, intending to make Russell surrender. However, Colossus reminds Deadpool of the X-Men's first rule: never take a life, even if warranted. Agitated, Deadpool holsters his guns and moves to establish rapport with Russell. Unfortunately, the headmaster emerges, inciting Russell's rage and prompting him to attack Deadpool. A series of events lead to Deadpool throwing one of his katanas at Russell, knocking him unconscious. Law enforcement fits Russell with a power-neutralizing collar. The headmaster, expressing gratitude for Deadpool's intervention, offers to take responsibility for Russell. However, Russell pleads not to return to the institute, revealing signs of abuse. Deadpool, sensing something amiss, prevents the employees from handling Russell and discovers evidence of mistreatment. When Deadpool inquires, Russell confirms the abuse, leading Deadpool to confront the headmaster and kill one of his employees. Colossus intervenes, immobilizing Deadpool, as law enforcement neutralizes him with a power-restricting collar. The authorities transport Deadpool and Russell to the Icebox, a maximum security prison for mutants. Within their cell, Deadpool and Russell discuss forming an alliance with a formidable fellow inmate, but their powers remain suppressed by the collars around their necks. Deadpool, no longer possessing his regenerative abilities, deteriorates slowly due to an underlying illness. Despite his declining health, Deadpool endures the prison's daily routine. During lunch, Russell's altercation with fellow prisoners leads to a confrontation. Deadpool feigns disinterest but is ultimately beaten alongside Russell. Later in their cell, Deadpool distances himself from Russell. Meanwhile, Cable learns of the incident at the Institute and prepares to intervene. He equips himself with futuristic weaponry and infiltrates the prison, causing havoc and chaos. Cable destroys the prison's control room, inadvertently releasing all the inmates. He targets specific cells, locating his intended victims, but Deadpool and Russell are not present. Believing that Cable is hunting him, Deadpool urges Russell to avoid him. However, Cable ultimately tracks them down, revealing his intention to kill Russell. Determined to protect Russell, Deadpool confronts Cable in a weakened state, due to his ongoing illness. A heated battle ensues between Deadpool and Cable, who possesses superior physical prowess. In the midst of the fight, Cable shoots Deadpool's collar, causing it to malfunction. Russell distracts Cable to save Deadpool, but Cable refocuses on Russell, preparing to eliminate him. Deadpool intervenes, leaping onto Cable and causing both to fall to a lower floor. Deadpool's collar finally disengages, restoring his powers. Cable, ignoring Deadpool, resumes his pursuit of Russell. Cable takes extreme measures, causing the floor beneath Russell to collapse, sending him plummeting. Deadpool fully regains his strength and confronts Cable, engaging him in combat with an iron bar. Deadpool seizes Cable's weapon and fires a shot at him, sending Cable flying. Afterward, Deadpool seeks an explanation from Cable, who briefly mentions his identity as a time traveler from the future. Cable deploys a magnetic device to retrieve his firearm and fires at the ceiling, causing a structure to nearly crush Deadpool. Another intense confrontation unfolds, leaving Deadpool with a broken arm and severe injuries. Despite his regained powers, Deadpool sustains a broken arm and severe injuries during the battle. A brutal punch propels Vanessa's arcade token from Deadpool's grasp. Cable takes the token as a memento while Deadpool attempts to retrieve it. Cable, aware of Deadpool's determination to save Russell, inquires about his motive. Deadpool, unaware that Russell is listening, claims indifference towards the boy. A disappointed Russell is subsequently apprehended by law enforcement. Unexpectedly, Deadpool disarms Cable's time-traveling device, resulting in a massive explosion that propels them out of the prison. They tumble into snowy mountains and begin rolling downhill. Cable manages to cling to a rock, while Deadpool loses consciousness and falls into a frozen lake. Submerged in the icy waters, Deadpool enters a peculiar purgatory once more, attempting to gain entry but encountering resistance from Vanessa's soul. Vanessa conveys that Deadpool's heart remains unready, pulling him back to reality. Emerging from the frigid water, Deadpool heads to his favorite bar to formulate a plan to rescue Russell. Deadpool's best friend, Weasel, informs him that the mutants, including Russell, will be transferred to another high-security prison soon. Determined to save Russell, Deadpool embarks on a mission to assemble a team for the rescue operation. He advertises the opportunity and conducts interviews, rapidly assembling a formidable team. This includes Bedlam, who controls electromagnetic fields, Zeitgeist, capable of spitting acidic bile, the Vanisher, who possesses invisibility, Shatterstar, an alien with diverse powers, Domino, whose luck is her greatest asset, and Peter, an ordinary individual. Following the interviews, Weasel is abducted by Cable, who coerces information out of him. While Deadpool compiles his team, Cable interrogates Weasel, threatening pain unless he cooperates. Simultaneously, at the prison, Russell instigates a massive brawl in the mess hall. Exploiting the chaos, Russell heads to the basement in search of the monster Deadpool mentioned earlier and forms a bond with the creature. As the day of the prisoner transfer approaches, Deadpool's team follows the transport trucks via helicopter. Upon parachuting from the helicopter, they are unexpectedly swept off course by strong winds. Deadpool miraculously lands on a billboard unharmed, but his team members aren't as fortunate. Bedlam is struck by a bus, Shatterstar is fatally injured by helicopter blades, Vanisher is electrocuted, and Zeitgeist falls into a wood-chipping truck. Peter lands safely and rushes to aid Zeitgeist, inadvertently succumbing to the latter's acidic bile. Deadpool is forced to commandeer a scooter in pursuit of their objective. Meanwhile, Domino, due to her extraordinary luck, lands near the truck as planned. Skillfully navigating obstacles, she enters the vehicle, ousts the driver, and takes control. Cable appears on the scene and manages to board Domino's truck after destroying another one. Realizing that Deadpool is following them on a scooter, Cable hurls transport containers in his direction, but Deadpool narrowly evades them. In an attempt to leap from his scooter into the truck, Deadpool instead crashes to the ground. Fortunately, he quickly takes control of one of the prison vehicles, eliminating the driver and employing a katana as a makeshift steering tool. As Deadpool enters the truck, Domino confronts Cable in combat but is quickly overpowered. Inside the truck, Domino, Cable, and Deadpool engage in a chaotic battle. Domino desperately tries to slow down the truck, but bullet holes in the brakes cause brake fluid leakage. As Deadpool and Cable continue their brawl, Russell manages to open his transport container using a pen and proceeds to release the monster. This monster is revealed to be Juggernaut, who emerges and delivers a colossal punch that opens a crater in the road, causing the truck to overturn. Domino leaps out and lands on a giant inflatable bear while Deadpool lands on the debris of the overturned truck, needing to reattach his head. Nevertheless, he rejoins the battle. Juggernaut effortlessly approaches Deadpool, ultimately splitting his body in half. Immobilized and in agony, Deadpool attempts to apologize, but Russell retaliates, burning Deadpool's back. Determined to change Russell's path, Deadpool dons a power-neutralizing collar and attempts to reason with him once more. Cable, however, intends to prevent Deadpool from becoming Russell's first victim and shoots at the boy. Noticing Cable's shot, Deadpool leaps in front of the projectile, taking the hit to save Russell. Russell finally comprehends Deadpool's selfless act and regrets his actions. Consequently, the bloodstains on the teddy bear, signifying Cable's family's fate, vanish. Colossus arrives and attempts to remove Deadpool's collar, but Deadpool refuses, stating that his heart is now in the right place. Deadpool bids a heartfelt farewell to everyone and enters Purgatory, reuniting with Vanessa. Vanessa, however, insists that it's not Deadpool's time yet. Cable utilizes his time-traveling device to return to the moment when Deadpool inquired about the bear, positioning Vanessa's arcade token where the projectile will strike. When the shot occurs again, it hits the token, absorbing the impact. Deadpool realizes what Cable has done and acknowledges that Cable can no longer return to the future. However, Cable emphasizes that the safety of his family in the future is the paramount concern. Russell removes Deadpool's collar using a pen, and they prepare to depart. Unexpectedly, the headmaster confronts them, hurling insults at mutants. The headmaster's tirade is abruptly halted when Dopinder arrives and runs him over with his cab, resulting in his demise. Subsequently, Negasonic and Yukio manage to repair Cable's time-traveling watch, and Deadpool commandeers it for himself. He journeys back in time to thwart Sergei's attack on Vanessa, thereby saving her life. Deadpool also intervenes in a movie production, preventing the creation of a poor impersonation of himself. Finally, he seeks out baby Hitler with the intent to eliminate him.